Puff, puff, penetrate. What is up, sapiosexuals? You know what you just did? You just turned on Sex in South Beach with your girl, Dr. Sanjaya. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to return the favor. Today we have a super special show. I am uber excited. We going to talk about weed and the wild thing. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. And we have a special guest, the future Dr. Will Joseph from the University of Miami School of Public Health, who has spent the biggest portion of his adult time studying the effects of marijuana. I'm not talking about practically, he's not at home getting high studying it. Well, he might be, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the scientific studies that Will has done and what he's going to bring to our conversation about marijuana and sex. Thank you so much for being here, future doctor. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to join you guys today.
Oh, we're super excited. So we all know, everybody's smoking weed,
right,
or taking weed tinctures, or popping weed pills, or eating infused brownies.
Absolutely.
Right? Everybody's doing it. It's the most widely used substance, I believe, right? Even more so than alcohol. Is that correct?
No, you're absolutely right. You hit it dead on. That's one of the most widely used substances used, especially in the United States and various other countries as well, like Canada.
Exactly. So, all right, you guys. Now, before you get all excited, because we're going to talk about doing it, right? While you're infused with some cannabis. So I want to remind you, this is Dr. Sanjaya, but this is not medical advice. Okay, y'all? Do not take anything that you hear today as a substitute for talking to your physician. We're just here to entertain you with a little sexual education. And today we're focused on how you might use marijuana. You know what? To ump up your bedroom game. You know what I'm talking about. Now, there's different kinds of marijuana, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So tell me about the different kinds of marijuana.
So, you have CBDs and then you have THCs, and you have sativas and you have indicas. And basically, sativas have high concentration of THC, or higher levels of THC versus the CBDs. And the indicas have higher levels of CBD than THC. And so those are the two categories. You have sativas and you have indicas.
I'm just going to recap what you said. So basically, marijuana, there's two major categories. There's sativa and there's indica.
Right.
So from what you were saying, I kind of like to think about sativa like sunshine, like daytime, sunshine, daytime. Higher levels of THC, that's what gives you the little brain buzz, right?
Yeah.
And then lower levels of CBD, which sort of, what is that? CBD is more for pain or relaxation or...
Right. So you're going to get a lot of the therapeutic benefits, specifically from the CBD, also the THC as well. But the CBD, you're not actually getting the high or the psychoactive component. So the THC is actually the psychoactive component, which produces the high, the euphoria.
Okay, so that was all about sativa. Remember sativa? Sunshine, right? More THC, less CBD. And then there's indica, right? And indica, I like to think of like indigo, like dark blue, blackish, so nighttime, right?
That's exactly how the strains look too. So
really?
Right.
And the indica, what you said, has higher concentrations of CBD,
correct,
which is more the therapeutic effects that do not get you high.
Yes, they don't have the psychoactive component like the THC, which produces the high, but they do have therapeutic benefits. Each one of them basically has therapeutic benefits depending on what you're doing throughout the day, or as we're talking about sex. So you may want to stick with a sativa,
more energizing sex.
Yeah. So if you're talking about more energizing, you're probably leaning more towards a sativa, which is going to give you more energy and more of that euphoric and things of that nature.
You're like a doctor, basically. I'm a doctor, and I know that we're talking at a high level. So for everyone who, is working on their GED, I'm just going to break it down. Which type of weed makes you want to sit on the couch, eat all day, and not do nothing? Is it the sativa or the indica?
I would say the indica.
Right,
I would say the indica.
Right.
But the thing is that the sativas with the high THC, they've been shown to have sedative properties. The higher THC, you have more of a sedative, so you'll probably be slouched over, chilling, when you're winding down from the day, So,
Got it. Okay. So when it comes to sex, we were talking about that a little bit. So like if you want like a more energizing sexual experience or like, ladies, you want to burn some calories or something, you want to get into it.
Definitely recommend the sativa.
The sativa.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you want like more relaxing, like you want to massage during sex, you want to do it slow, you want to focus on like the slow rhythm of things. Right. And then fall asleep after.
I would definitely recommend the indica.
Okay. So I hope that helps. That definitely enlightens me a little bit.
And then also after sex, definitely those indicas as well, because a lot of times the indica has been shown to be effective in maybe sometimes women experience pain or anyone may experience pain after sex. Indicas kind of dissolve it or mitigates the pain.
So after sex, some post-coital pain, you would go for the indica. Right. That would it. And I liked what you said. Like I was wondering, like when I do my husband, I'm like, man, I squeeze so tight, right? He's a little bit bruised from my squeezing.
Right.
Is that what's going on?
Right. Yeah, he might need something after sex, most definitely.
So, tell me, are the benefits the same whether you smoke it or whether you eat it or whether you drink it or how's it? Tell me a little bit about that.
So they call those in a science world, they call those methods of administration. So or different ways that you ingest or consume the cannabis. So you have tinctures, you have vapes, you have the smoking form, the pills. You have all type of different forms. And it's I really like to say it depends on the person, and it really depends on personal preference. And usually if you have like for example vapes, they have a different CBD THC concentration level is a little bit more stronger sometimes versus maybe like a bud. Or if we're talking about sex, we may want to talk about the oils. You know what I'm saying? The oils are really good for like localized pain, like you said, and you could put it in that specific area. So it all depends on what the person prefers. So.
Okay, so now is the high different? So if I were to smoke, say it's all the same type of weed, but in different forms. Right. So if I were to smoke that weed or ingest it or maybe rub it on my skin, would the effects be different or would they be the same if it's all the same type of weed?
They'll be different. I think the difference is how fast it hits you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So what's the fastest way to get high?
A lot of
with weed, people, with weed.
Right. A lot of people say the fastest way is with the bowls, and the bowls is basically kind of like a bong type thing,
right?
Where you put the weed directly in like a little glass and you smoke it.
Memories from college, something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Snoop Dogg did actually sleep on my couch in college. True story, you guys. Man, honest to God. Oh, yeah, I don't know how I turned out so good.
Yeah, you was living your best life, most definitely.
Well, those UCLA girls, good girls, we are.
But definitely smoking,
and then the tinctures. And they take longer to take effect?
Yeah, they take longer to take effect to basically go throughout your body and everything like that. So.
Okay, and I just want to explain, the tinctures, they're like little liquids that are infused with marijuana, correct? Right. And you can drop them in your mouth. Right. Sort of like a medicine dropper, right? Right.
And that may be, I don't know. I'm not sure about those two right there because I am sure about, what they do, but sometimes, for some people, the tinctures hit faster than the smoking, so,
Okay, so people are different because everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Everybody's definitely different.
But the rubbing it on is probably the slowest acting. You think rubbing it on the skin?
I think the purpose of the rubbing it on the skin is because you're getting that localized area. You know what I'm saying? So instead of getting the whole, your whole body.
Right. You're really only medicating that one area that really needs it. Right. And in the case of
sex. And that's like
Right.
immediately. You know what I'm saying? Once you put that on.
Oh, wow. Because we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I know there's a lot of sex lubricants out there now that claim to have CBD, and some in states where it's legal have THC as well. Right. I'm like, does it make your vagina hungry?
Definitely something we got to test that hypothesis.
Yes, we've got to test that hypothesis. Right. Does it make your vagina hungry when you use a THC-infused lubricant?
Oh, man.
Now, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about some of the health benefits, the sexual health benefits of marijuana in just a second. So you stay tuned to Sex in South Beach, and we'll be right back.
My Uber driver lost his mind the other day, but he blamed me. He said I smelled so good he became too excited to drive. This man actually pulled over to get himself together. And he refused to drive until I told him the name of my fragrance. Then he bought 3 bottles before driving again. I know Sen's body oil makes men crazy, but that Uber ride should be free.
Sense Aromatherapy Body Oil. Simply go to SENSE bodyoil.com and type in the code MyClimax to get half off today. You'll thank me tomorrow.
Welcome back to Sex in South Beach, where we're talking about weed and the wild thing, people, right? Puff, puff, penetrate. Or maybe not. And we have our special guest here, the almost Dr. Will Joseph. And he is a marijuana expert, people. And what I want to ask you, Dr. Joseph, tell me something. Can weed backfire during sex? Like, say my man comes and he's like, baby, we should get high before sex. And it's not something I'm used to. Right. And I agree to it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, is he going to still be able to get it up? Or is that an issue? Does weed affect erectile functioning?
No. Weed doesn't necessarily affect erectile dysfunction or anything like that. But, I mean, you do want to make sure that you're using the right type of weed. Yeah, and we always go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Because the sativas, they're going to increase your energy. They're going to increase your blood flow. And you're going to be more hyper-aroused if you use those specific strains of cannabis.
The indicas, yeah. But there has been no association between like as Bree, our lovely manager of everything over at the University of Miami. Right. She's like, I think weed could cause whiskey dick. And I was like, whiskey dick? How old are you? Are you 85, lady? Like, who uses that term anymore? But so there hasn't been any associations with erectile dysfunction and marijuana. But are there different types of marijuana? Does the sativa, does it help your erection at all, or?
Yeah, I definitely believe the sativa helps the erection more, and the reason why, because it's increasing the blood flow, it's increasing your energy. You know what I'm saying? But remember, the indicas, which are high CBDs, they're more the relaxation. So I'm not sure if you want to relax during sex. So you got to think about that as well. So
absolutely. Yeah. No, and what Will is talking about, everybody, when you increase your blood circulation, that's what an erection is. It's actually just blood circulating down to your juicy parts and making your penis erect. Right. And biologically, the same thing essentially happens to a woman. When we're excited, the blood gushes down and then our clitoris becomes erect. So it's really important to make sure that your blood is circulating, because if your blood is not circulating, women, you're not going to get stimulated. You're not going to be able to produce lubrication. And men, yeah, you're going to have like a weak little one, right? It's not going to be as strong as it could possibly be, right?
You're definitely right about that.
Now, another thing, body issues are a big thing with people having sex. Right. Some people only want to do it in the dark. Right. And I'm wondering, paranoia. Could marijuana like increase your paranoia? So then you start feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have sex, or I'm not, whatever's going on, I'm too paranoid to have sex.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I would say is this. I think it actually does the opposite. And the reason being is that a lot of times marijuana is used for like social anxiety disorders and things like that. So if you're using cannabis, it's going to make you more relaxed. You're going to be less concentrated on, your body, and it kind of gets you back in the mood and not necessarily thinking about those other intricate things that can affect your
libido, your desire,
your libido, your desire. Your confidence.
Right.
We know confidence is a big deal in the bedroom. So
if you are someone who does have body image issues and you need to chill out and reduce your anxiety before sex, marijuana might be something for you, right?
Right. And I'm always going to go back. I have to, and it's very important. I always got to go back to the CBDs and THCs. You know what I'm saying? So, over the past 15 years, the THC concentration has been going up dramatically versus, the weed that you used to smoke back in the days, that your grandma's weed. It's not the same thing that we have today.
I didn't really smoke my grandma's weed. Will, did you? Okay, we're not talking about your personal business, but just saying. Okay.
No, I didn't smoke my grandma's weed, but but the THC concentration back then was like real low. But now, we're in between about 15 to 25% right now, which is pretty high. But
wow.
But you even have weed on the black market, and they have some things called like moon rock and stuff like that, where the THC concentration is like 60 and 80%.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So too much THC can increase anxiety. However, CBD and THC work in like a marriage, right?
Okay.
So like in a household, each person is the yin and yang, and they basically, cancel each other out.
Right.
So the THC CBD ratio is very important. So if you have increase of THC, the CBD has been shown to mediate those effects of the THC and kind of create a balance. But now you have marijuana that's been growing on the black market and different things like that. So the THC is like very high sometimes, and the CBD is real low. So you have nothing to mediate those effects of the THC, and then it increases anxiety and stuff like that. So you just want to make sure you have a good strain of cannabis when you're engaged in whatever activities that you want.
So this is really cool because a few things I want to talk about. One is that with the legalization now of marijuana in so many states,
Right.
it allows you, it really empowers you to know what's in your weed, right?
Right.
So you don't really have to buy things in the black market that you don't know what they are. You should know what's in your weed, right?
You're absolutely right about that. About 86% of the U.S. has some form of legalization, whether it's recreational or medicinal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there is access to cannabis. And also just recently a bill is in the House right now where weed is being descheduled, meaning that is instead of it being federally outlawed, is being brought down to a level where it can be researched, and there's going to be more leniency, and soon it's going to be legalized throughout the country on the federal level.
Right.
So, yeah.
And another thing, I've dealt in my sexual health counseling practice, I've dealt with a lot of people who are reluctant or maybe nervous or anxious about performing certain sexual acts. I have actually met many women who they have no desire to perform oral sex on their husband or their partner, but they want to do it because they want to please him. So maybe a little bit of weed could relax and allow them to do something that intellectually they want to do, but they have some sort of hang up that sort of prevents them to do it or gives them anxiety when they think about doing it.
So it's funny that you say that. So we just got done with a qualitative study, and basically, for those who don't know what a qualitative study is, it basically is a study where you interview different people from the population and get a feel for what exactly is going on for the specific research question that you're trying to answer. And one of the participants from the study stated that, the weed actually helps her during sex to relax and not worry, And there are some studies back in history, a lot of times women would use marijuana actually in the oil form right before sex just to kind of relax the muscles, because it does help with muscle spasms and things of that nature, relax, Yeah, so...
So I wanted to discuss, so many women have been traumatized. For women who are recovering from some sort of sexual trauma or trying to reignite their sex life and their healing, weed might be something, or cannabis might be something that they could consider with their provider, with their physician. Okay, you guys, remember, I'm not your physician, but it's something that they might want to discuss with their physician to help relax them and reduce anxiety when they're engaging in intimacy.
You're absolutely right. So a lot of the benefits of cannabis is not necessarily just the body, but also the mental. You know what I'm saying? And both of those working in conjunction with each other are beneficial to your sex life, because we know that, sex just isn't the, the physical part and, the bang, 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 what I'm saying? Is a lot of mental things that goes into play as well. So if you have both of those working in conjunction and you have a traumatic experience, that cannabis or marijuana, and especially if you find your right strain and the strain that's best for you, it can be effective in reducing some of that stress, reducing some of that anxiety, reducing some of the depression levels, while enhancing some of the other things that you're trying to engage in, vaginal, anal, whatever type of sex that you're,
Ooh, you just brought up what I'm about to talk about. So on December 11th, I am going to teach a class called All About Anal. And I was discussing this at the school fundraiser last night. Seriously, that's what everyone wanted to talk about. That's what parents want to talk about.
Oh, man.
And one of the moms was like, okay, I did it for my husband as our wedding gift.
Yeah.
I gave him some anal. She said, I did have to do a mountain of cocaine before doing it because that was the only way I was going to get through it. I did think she was very bold to say that at the school fundraiser.
Oh,
that was, yes,
wow.
I thought, okay, maybe not what you tell the kindergarten teacher, but cool. I like your transparency, Mom. Yeah. On the other hand, though, you said what I'm thinking about is that we know for anal sex, and I know from the research that there's no lubrication in our anus, and there's no elasticity. Right. And so, and women, although about 40% of heterosexual women are engaging in anal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what the research says. So we know it's much higher, right?
Yeah,
we know it's much higher.
Everybody on the reports.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's underreporting about that.
Right.
So when she was talking about this last night, I was thinking, I think marijuana might be the better drug, not cocaine. I don't know, but I'm just the effects of cocaine are like, let's get up, let's get like hype, it would make me think I want to clench tighter. Like I got to fight against this, I got to, whereas marijuana, it's like, I'm going to relax, relax. And look, ladies, if that's something that you want to do for your man, or guys, if that's something you've been asking your woman to do and she is like, no boo, nah, I'm just saying, you might want to bring marijuana into the conversation. Yeah. I'm not saying to do or not to do. I'm just saying you might want to bring it into the conversation.
No, I couldn't see the cocaine. I was trying to make the connection, but I guess more like, because it's a party drug or something like that. So I don't know. But I can definitely see the connection with marijuana because we just talked about the relaxation component, you know what I'm saying? Right. And, being able to loosen up and all of that, So, and also it's coming in oil form and stuff. I'm not sure if there's a actual lubricant type marijuana, but I can imagine that it is.
There is. And also for all of you guys, all you men with those strong tongues, with all those muscles, the muscles in your tongue never get tired, guys. Really. They're like, have massive endurance. Okay. If you have any hangups about going down, Dr. Sanjaya advises you to try some weed. Okay. Because if you don't go down, guess what? Your girl won't be around. Booyah. Okay. There. I'm going to end with that one. You guys know what you need to do. For your daily dose of Nookie knowledge, you need to check me out on all the social media networks. That's DRSONJIA all day on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Come on, baby. Let's link up. I had so much fun talking to you, and I cannot wait to do it again soon. Everybody, put your hands together for Dr. Joseph. This is Sex in South Beach with Dr. Sanjaya, where everyone comes for a happier, healthier sex.